Hello everyone, my name is Natalie Ledwell and this is The Inspiration Show. Today in the show we're going to talk about happiness. We're actually going to be talking about immediate happiness and how you can get it right now. So to help me explain how to get that done, please welcome my guest, Mr. Anil Gupta. How are you, Anil?
Hey Natalie, thank you for inviting me on your show.
It's a pleasure to have you here, darling. So we actually had the pleasure of meeting in person only a month or so ago. And as soon as I met Anil, I'm like, we have to share this information with our My Movies community. So why don't we start, first of all, with your background and your story and how you got into, teaching the lesson of happiness around the world.
I used to think that knowledge was power, but I had a big calamity 8 years ago and I was on the verge of suicide, but I knew what to do to get out of it, but I couldn't implement. So people think knowledge is power, but it's not unless you implement. And I had to have a big intervention with Tony Robbins. His wife did one, his wife's brother, then my wife did one. And I realized that it wasn't about having the knowledge, it's about implementation. And I wanted immediate results, so I thought there has to be a way to get immediate results. And that's where the book and the whole program started. How can we, in this moment, change the way we feel about something so that we feel better now?
Right. So, so your story is that you really hit rock bottom. So you lost all your material possessions, and like you were just saying, you had several interventions. So what was one of the things that you really learned from that experience that actually changed the way that you looked at life moving forward?
Well, the biggest thing was I was focusing on me, what I'd lost, what I'd felt, what was missing in my life. And then as soon as I changed focus and started serving other people, all that pain suddenly disappeared. And it was really peculiar. I thought, why am I feeling so good? Nothing's changed. The only thing I'm doing is, oh my God, that's what I'm doing. I'm giving. Oh, that's very interesting. Then I thought, who else is giving? Mother Teresa, Martin Luther King, Mahatma Gandhi. Maybe there's something in this.
Excellent. I've had a similar experience. And you know that I've recently did a live event. And normally, the longest I've ever spoken on stage is 1 hour. And I'm normally really nervous and sweating, and my biggest fear is that I'm going to forget what I have to say, and I've got all my slides and everything. But I did a 3-day event, so I basically spoke on stage for 3 days and didn't have 1 ounce of nervousness or fear. And it was mainly because I wasn't focused on how I was feeling. I was focused on how can I express this message in a way that people will understand. And when I changed shifted my focus, it completely eliminated all of that for me.
And once you serve, all the knowledge and all the power, just come things to you. So it just becomes so much easier to give, and especially if the intent is pure.
Right. So we're talking about immediate happiness, like happiness right now. So how do we achieve that?
Well, the secret is to change your focus. So if for any reason you're feeling down, ask yourself, what am I focusing on? What am I grateful for? What can I give right now? Who can I serve? As soon as you do that, it's an immediate impact, because as human beings, we love to have feelings. So if you feel differently by just giving, it becomes very addictive. So change what you're doing, change your focus, ask yourself better questions. How can I serve someone? What can I do to help them? What do I have to change? What do I have to let go of? What do I have to do right now to make me feel differently? As you ask better quality questions, the brain has to answer you, so it'll give you better quality answers.
Right. So is there anything specific that we should be working on within ourselves to be able to tap into that happiness? Because, a lot of people say, really happiness comes from within. So how do we tap into that to find out where that is and bring that out into our life?
So you cannot be happy, you cannot be fulfilled, you cannot be joyous, you cannot be in love without being aware. So awareness is the fundamental tool. So the first thing you need to work on is the awareness. Ask yourself questions. What am I feeling? What am I doing? Why am I doing it? What is it that's happening right now? What do I make it mean? What is my expectation? What can I let go of? By having that awareness, it gives you that ability to see things as they are. So awareness is the fundamental key. And then you have to increase the level of awareness. And awareness is just a muscle. So how do you increase awareness? I wear this wristband on my hand, and it says the word awareness. I have, I can tie a knot in a handkerchief and then put it in my pocket. I can wear a rubber band or elastic band. I can have a post-it note on my computer. I can put a knot in my handkerchief. So every time I'm aware of it, I can remind myself, hey, Anil, be aware. So as you become aware of being aware. So as human beings, we're looking for bliss or success, joy. That's the feeling. Then there are 3 ways to reach that.
Right. And so what are the 3 ways?
Okay, the first way is to give. Give your time, your energy, your love, your commitment, your joy, your gift, your happiness. Basically give you away, but without wanting anything in return. That's the first G. There are 3 Gs. That's the first G.
And the second G?
Second G is grateful. Be grateful. Be grateful for what you have, but don't focus on what you don't have. As human beings, we're very successful. Well, he's got more money than me. He's got a bigger car, bigger house, all that stuff. But really, there's so many things to be grateful for. We poop in water that other countries would love to drink out of.
Right.
How often do we think about that?
I know, because that's the thing. I mean, and when we drop in and are aware and in these moments of gratefulness throughout our day, it really helps to raise our vibration. And for me, I always agree that being grateful is the fastest way to get you into that positive vibration, or into I call it your happy place, because there is so much for us to be grateful for. Yeah. Yeah. And so what's the third G?
The third G is you have to grow emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally. So anytime you're not feeling filled, anytime you're not feeling joyous, anytime you're not feeling happy, one of those 3 Gs is missing, always.
Right. Okay. So, all right. So that we're talking about growth. So how do we grow? Is there certain things that we can do? Like, do we have to work on this every day? Like, how does that work?
Well, again, there are 4 parts of growth: emotional, physical, spiritual, and mental. So physical is easy. We know if we're physically fit, so we can work on that. Emotional is the stuff that we're constantly thinking about. Am I good enough? Am I smart enough? What's wrong with me? If you ask yourself what's wrong with me, your brain is going to say, well, dummy, this, and this. Ask yourself what's great about me? What's good about me? What is it that I do to help other people? So again, you need to find out which area, but that's only through awareness. And then if it's emotional, you can write down all the emotions that you're feeling during the day, then have a look at it at the end of the day and say, wow, you know what? 80% of the time I'm negative. Now let's switch that round. What would happen if I was positive 80% of the time? So as human beings, we develop a muscle, and that muscle is normally negative. But as we build the positive, the negative disappears.
Right. Yeah, now that's really interesting what you say about when we do our self-evaluation, because, I think for most of us, if we ask the question, what's wrong with me, what's not good about me, we can always come up with a million different things. But sometimes it's hard for us to come up and focus on the things that are good about ourselves and expand on those. So it's really important that we do that. And I think the more that we focus on that, the more that expands.
Sometimes we think it's a bad thing to say that we're great, we're caring, we're loving, because as children we're told not to brag. But the truth is it's hurting us. And it's not, if you have to look at the intent, is the intent to hurt someone or to show off? No, it's for us, so that as we become better human beings, we can serve more people.
Yeah. Yeah, so what you're saying is that we really need to be conscious and purposeful about how we choose our thoughts, how we focus on gratitude, so that we can tap into the happiness that really is our birthright, and the joy that we can have in our life, and if we just take a few, like these 3 small steps.
Yeah. If you look at a child, they are total bliss, they're total joy. They don't know if you've got brown skin, black skin, yellow skin. They don't know. They're just being love. And if you're being love and you give love, you're still left with love. Yeah. And this is what we're afraid of. If we give love and we don't get it back, then what?
Right.
Yeah.
That actually brings up a really interesting point about, those of us in relationships. So let's say that we're in a relationship that we're not happy about. How do we use these principles to change that relationship around?
Okay. So again, throw some awareness in it. What is it you're not happy about the relationship? Is it the other partner's not giving? But ask yourself, what is it you can change to change this relationship? Can you be more giving? Can you be kinder? What is it you used to do? Have you complimented your partner? Have you done anything outstanding for her? What can you do right this moment to make her feel differently? By you asking those questions, well, I haven't taken her out for a while. I haven't done this, I haven't done that, I could do this, I could write her a little note. I do a lot of traveling, so I would just get a piece of paper and I would draw a little heart on it, and I would leave it in the microwave, in the utensils, in the bed, and my wife would find it. It would give us so much joy. So it's not necessarily what you do, but it's the intent behind it.
Yeah, and what you're doing is you're doing small little things to demonstrate how much you are thinking about your other partner and putting them there. So
absolutely, and it's, you know, if you think about your partner more often, if you make your partner number one, they will never leave you.
Excellent. And the other thing, a really important thing that you're saying here is it's like not what your partner can do for you, but what you can do for your partner, and you're focusing on how you can change your perspective and your actions to be able to facilitate a change.
And that's what happened. You know, I call this the dating facade. Boy meets girl, girl meets boy, and he would do anything for her, she would do anything for him. Then they get married, and then he doesn't have to do that stuff, she doesn't have to do that stuff. He lets his guard down, she lets her guard down. Then all of a sudden, well, you're not the man I married, you're not the woman I married. But if you carried on giving, you would always get it back, and that would be so fulfilling for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that when we've spoken before, that you said there's this fundamental thing that a male is always looking for, and a fundamental thing that a woman is always looking for in a relationship that's going to really be the key to success. What were those two things?
People are thinking. Men are looking for respect, and women are looking for love. So men, if you ask this question to your lady, what can I do to make you feel more loved? Then be quiet. Let her finish, because inevitably she wants to be listened to. She wants to be heard. She wants to be present with you. She wants to spend time with you. She wants hugs and cuddles. So women want love. Men want respect. So one day I came and I felt there's something missing, and I said to my wife, honey, I don't feel respected. And she said, what do I have to do to make you feel more respected? And my answer was, I just want you to pat me on the back saying I'm doing a good job. Say to me you're proud of me. Every time you walk past me, just you know, slide your hand across my back and just say good job.
Right. Okay, that's the thing, because it's fantastic that you bring this up, that we need to ask the question, because how we want love to be expressed to us, or how we want respect to be respect to us, is different for everybody.
Absolutely. You know, if you ask that question, you're serving the partner. I remember one time my wife was very upset with me. I said, why are you upset? She said, honey, look, that's not what I want. I just want you. I want your time, your energy. I want you to be present. But I was doing this for you. She said, that's not what I wanted, honey. So then no one wins. No one wins.
And so what you're doing, also you're bringing up, is that we have this level of communication in our marriage that's really going to help with our happiness levels, because we're really listening and then following through and acting upon the feedback that they give us.
It's like being a sniper. You'll hit bullseye every single time. It's not about us. It's about the service that we can provide our partners.
Wonderful.
That's what we do with our children. We're always looking after them. But we have to make our partners more important than our children, because if we make our partners more important, our kids will see that, and they will do the same for their relationships, and those relationships will never fail. Right.
So, so what do you think if someone, you know, is watching the show right now, and they're like, okay, I need to do one thing right now because I'm not feeling great. Watching this show is making me feel a little bit better. Okay. But if there was one thing I could do right now just to really help me get into a happy place, or to feel better about myself, what would you say that number one thing is?
Number one thing is be grateful. Write down 10 things you can be grateful for. For example, I'm grateful for my nails, my hands, my teeth. When was the last time you looked at your hands and said, thank you for serving me for 55 years? We don't. Imagine you didn't have hands. Imagine you didn't have legs. Imagine we didn't have clean air. So gratitude, write down 10. And when I coach people, I ask them to write down 100. As soon as you start writing things you're grateful for, your mind changes. How you look at life changes.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Anil, if people want to connect with you and find out more about you, or maybe work with you, where can we send them to do that?
Well, if you go on my website, it's got a lot of free videos, a lot of content. It's immediatehappiness.com.
Excellent. So guys, if you're watching this online, make sure you click the banner to the side there to go through Anil's website. And if you're watching this on the app, click the banner that's underneath the video. Anil, thank you so much for joining me today and for making me feel happier because of it.
Thank you, Natalie.
I think it's so great to have you here. And guys, I encourage you to share this video and spread the love. You can do that by clicking the Facebook and the Twitter share buttons on this page. Also, make sure you leave your email in the box on this page so I can send you the Manifesting with the Masters video e-course. It's actually valued at $87 and I'd love to send it to you for free. So until next time, remember to live large, choose courageously, and love without limits. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.